So as a teenage and as the eldest, then of 4 siblings, it was pretty weird because I was adjusting to the whole sentiment of recovering from an abusive father, healing and recovering together with my mom, who was also abused emotionally and physically, into caretaking for my other brothers. So that was an adjustment period. And then came Aceh, which happened about in 2005, January 2005. A week after, about 7 days after tsunami happened, I received an email asking for help. So I went over. Entering Aceh, going through the held at gunpoint, listening to gunshots, the earthquakes, all that didn't really click in until the 2nd or the 3rd day where I helped with the body evacuation. There was a body of a pregnant lady and a baby of hers. We assumed it was a baby because she was the only adult remains nearby, the little baby's body. That was a turning point of not wanting to see another person hurt. It's the locals that inspires me. One is the tenacity and the resilience they have, especially the children, when they've suffered so much. They've been traumatized, not just by the natural disasters, but also by the conflict that's been going on in Aceh for about 30 years. And still wanting to better themselves. I mean, imagine you've had 30 years of really bad experience, either seeing your friends, your girlfriends, your sisters, your mothers raped, your relatives or your cousins slaughtered, shot to death, abused, thrown around and toyed around with, and still wanting to be able to have a better future for their children that they probably don't even have yet. So they are my inspiration. Aside from my mom, they would be it. To be able to be at peace with whatever I do. Because right now, even with the stuff that I'm doing right now, I feel that it's not enough. And I know that's not fair, because one, I'll be pushing myself to an extreme that my body won't be able to take it anymore, especially with my condition. And two, I will be pushing others to an extent where they probably would not be able to appreciate, because I'm an optimist and I always see the potential in other people, and I would always push them so that they would achieve without even considering whether they want to or not. So that's a big lesson for me, to be able to be at peace with whatever I do. And then last year I was diagnosed with cancer, the most unglamorous kind, nasal cancer. Taking into account what I've learned before, cancer was something that I cannot control. I can just go along with it. I can either be in denial, which sometimes I am, or I can try to be able to distract myself into something that's more positive, which is all this other work that I'm doing. So it's still a coping mechanism, but I'm hopeful that I'll progress better. Because if I focus in on the illness, even the word is cancerous, on the cancer, I won't be able to focus on the positive, which is to be able to help others. I want at least the lives that I touched be able to teach others with what they've learned. That's the only thing. Be it my kids in the future, Ellynita, or my siblings who are very much into the whole glamorous lifestyle and may not want to be involved in something like this, and it's fine, it's fair enough. But if I can even touch them slightly, for them to be aware of that and to want to share what they have with others, that's enough for me. I know, being Malaysians, it's a lot easier for us to tease one another. I do sometimes slip into that mentality of, oh, let's not do this the UMNO way, or let's not do this. One way would be, oh, okay, the rich or the more kiasu ones are the Chinese, you know. I think you'll be labeling and stereotyping people the moment you do that. And that confines you and them in these boxes that you have labeled, which means you're not allowing them to grow beyond that. So that's my belief. It's a very small thing, but it does get to me, like using the word keling or anything like that. For Malaysians to believe in themselves a lot more than they actually do now. Because with faith in who they are, in accepting in who they are, the same way which applies to me, in accepting in who I am, along with the others, we go beyond just tolerating each other. We go towards respecting one another, our flaws and all. Amidst of our race, our religion, our spiritual beliefs, even our taste in food, to be able to achieve that, meaning everything else would be a bonus.